Return of the Mount Hua Sect, Chapter 176. It is better than dying from frustration. Baek-sang let out a low sigh as he looked at Mount Hua. I feel like the atmosphere is rather restless lately. To be more precise, it felt like something was floating around. Thinking about it, the atmosphere had been strange ever since Chongmyung entered Mount Hua. But it suddenly got worse after Chongmyung and his party returned from Nanyang recently. It was clear that the elders were excited about something. Well, he must have done something great. None of the second-class disciples would deny the power Chongmyung had. After 2 years of experience under him, they had no choice but to understand it, even if they didn't want to know. Besides, he also received something from Chongmyung. Quite frankly, how could the days when all they had to eat was grass and all they had to wear were worn-out uniforms even be compared to now when they wear fine clothes and eat meat until they're tired? No matter how hard they trained, even masters couldn't sustain themselves on dew alone. It couldn't be denied that these days were 100 times better than when the sect was suffering from financial difficulties. But sometimes he missed the silence of the past Mount Hua. At that time, Mount Hua had a feeling of purity. Maybe I'm thinking to rumble. Baek-san looked up at the sudden sound. Is it about to rain? There was thunder. Rumble. What? Baek-san strangely felt like it came from the side. Well, it wasn't out of the ordinary to hear thunder nearby when they lived so high up on the mountain. Rumble. Baek-sang turned his head. No, I don't think it's thunder. Baek-sang's eyes opened wide as he looked around for the source of the sound. What is that? Dust was rising from the residence of the sect leader. It wasn't just an expression. Dust was literally rising. This. Rumble. As the thunderous sound rang again, the entire residence shook. I can't just go there, right? It was definitely coming from the residence of the sect leader. And... No! What's going on? Please, don't overdo it! Please! Baek-chun, Yu Yi-sol, his juniors, Hyunjong, and an elder escaped from the residence at the speed of light. Baek-sang was stunned by the unexpected sight. What now? He didn't have much time to think. Rumble. The sound of thunder came crashing down as the entire building collapsed. The roof tiles scattered in all directions and the pillars fell over. Oh, that was a place that should never collapse like that. That was the house of the sect leader. It was the most important. Baek-sang murmured to himself unconsciously as he looked at the ruined residence with blank eyes. Maybe the sect is really going well. Really well. Distinguishedly well. Hyunjong's eyebrows convulsed at the sight of his pavilion collapsing. That... He had nothing to say. Huh? Hyunyoung, who was coughing next to him, frowned. What kind of forefathers does that bastard have to take down something like this? No, bastard. My house is the one collapsing. Do you have to act like this? It looks like we'll have to build a new one. Hyunjong's ears, which had been slightly irritated, twitched. A new house. Oh, that sounds good. Getting a new house was definitely a good thing. But Hyunjong couldn't determine if he should be sad that the old house collapsed or happy that he would be getting a new one. Oh, no. That wasn't important now. Hyunjong shook his head and straightened his neck. What happened to Chongmyung? Huh? Where? Are you getting old? There! In there! Hyunjong narrowed his eyes and looked to where Hyunyoung was pointing to. The wreckage of the collapsed house shook a couple of times as a man crawled out from it. Hey! Why did this collapse? Who was it? What kind of bastards did this? It was you, you brat. You did it. You did. Chongmyung emerged with a fit of tantrums and clicked his tongue at the collapsed house. How weak did the building have to be for this to collapse? The builders must have skimped on some materials. Hyunjong sighed as if there was no way he could answer that. Sect Leader Sayoung, wasn't that the 5-chi Choyeon? Well, Hyunjong drooled a little at those words. It felt a little different from what I know of it. I've heard that when it happens, 5 colored circles appear when the person has gone into performing the 5-ki Choyeon. There was a 5-colored glow, but it wasn't quite the same, right? Then something similar to that? Well, Hyunjong smiled bitterly. Anyway, it seems to have come from consuming the soul vitality pill. Looking at Chongmyung, Hyunjong smiled. After consuming that pill, Chongmyung's body began floating in the air. Then he emitted a 5-colored light. At this point, wouldn't that mean that he was at the peak of absorbing and cultivating? Well then, Sect Leader, what now? Just how much stronger is he now? Hyunjong shut his mouth. How much had he grown? Seeing Hyunjong unable to speak, Hyunjong's eyes narrowed. Even the Sect Leader doesn't know. As if that could be true. Then why aren't you speaking? No. Come on, man. How could I possibly know that? He had never witnessed or even heard of such a thing in his life. The same guy who fought an elder of Wudang to a standstill took a pill and became even stronger. How could Hyunjong understand what his level was? He couldn't even ask for a match with Chongmyung. Very, extremely strong, I am certain. So, it will be tough for me to put into words. Don't look at me with those eyes. Hyunjong sighed as Hyunjong carefully avoided his gaze. Anyway, being strong is a good thing. Right, this is a good thing. It was unknown if this was a good thing or not. For now, they were flying high. While everyone was buzzing around, Chongmyung looked down at his hands. I didn't expect. There is a limit when it comes to ki that can be extracted from a pill and absorbed. The ki accumulated in his body is the purest ki in the world. No matter how refined the pill was, it could not be compared to Chongmyung's pure ki. Wasn't that why there was no significant growth in Chongmyung after taking the pill in the past? However, the soul vitality pill was different from what Chongmyung thought. The ki it had wasn't very high compared to the supreme pill. Instead, it was several times purer. Perhaps this is the most perfect item for me. Of course, he couldn't absorb even half of the ki he received, and he had to discharge the rest. But where did the other half go? When he ate the pill in the cave before, he couldn't absorb even a handful of the ki. This time, he had gotten a full half of it. Thanks to that, Chongmyung clenched his fist and extended it. His body felt full of vitality. I still have a long way to go. It was still a long way off from regaining his power from the past. But thanks to this, it felt like he was finally at the starting line after a long time. With a satisfied smile, Chongmyung slowly turned his head. His Sahyungs all stood there, watching. That disgusting monster. He must have surely gotten stronger. There, look at that light in his eyes. Is that person human? Is he a human? The Sahyungs, who were familiar with Chongmyung, noticed that the waves of ki emanating from his body were stronger than before. The heavens must be impartial. Why are the results so different despite eating the same pill? At this point, it was flustering. Pills alone don't determine a person's success. Some people consume pills and get stronger, while some eat them and end up floating in the air and blowing up residences. Wasn't that a little too unfair? Hyunjong ran to Chongmyung. How is it? The effects? Elder, this might actually make me live. Thank God. Chongmyung smacked his lips. This is more effective than I thought, right? What Chongmyung lacked the most right now was internal ki. He thought that there was no way to increase his ki other than with the passage of time, as pure ki was hard to make. But now he found another way. If I eat more, will it increase further? Chongmyung glanced at Hyunjung with shining eyes, and Hyunjung tightly clenched a box of pills in his hand. Oh, no. It was clear that he was aiming for the soul vitality pill, but this needed to be saved for the future of Mount Hua. Never, never. Chongmyung walked toward Hyunjung with an innocent smile. Sect leader. Yes. I don't think it'll be a big deal if we use a few more pills, right? Hyunjung stepped back. No. Before Chongmyung could say anything, Hyunjung screamed. What do you think will happen in the future? Mount Hua has yet to establish a functioning medical hall. If someone gets seriously injured, we have to use this to save them. Ah! Chongmyung exclaimed, as if moved. Chongmyung thought that the sect leader was just behaving pitifully by hoarding these pills, but his actions held such a deep meaning. Again, there was no one who cared about the disciples here more than Hyunjung. But Hyunjung didn't know that he had just made a massive mistake. Ah, so you mean to say that you'll keep it to use it when someone gets injured or something? Yes? Hyunjung sensed something was amiss from Chongmyung's tone and flinched. He felt certain that the disciple must have misunderstood something. Sect leader. Yes. I would like to thank you. Chongmyung bowed his head. However, the polite reaction only further incited Hyunjung's anxiety. Chongmyung raised his head and opened his mouth with a smirk. Yunnan is a dangerous place. This medicine will be a great help to the disciples who are entering that dangerous place. Again, that dangerous place. A place where you never know what will happen. In a land ruled by terrifying barbarians. No, you just said you'd break their heads open. Sect leader, I'm fine. This Chongmyung will continue to constantly risk his life for the sake of Mount Hua. But... Chongmyung shook his head. If the Sasuks and Sahyungs that are coming with me to that dangerous place get injured and die right before my eyes, I don't think I will have peace even after death. Why did the story end up like this? No, that... In that dangerous situation, just one pill. No, 3. No, all we need are 5 pills. Why does it keep going up? You little mugger, robbing me in broad daylight. I think we'll be able to return alive with just 5 of them. Just 5. But that can't be spared, can it? Because those soul vitality pills are for the future of Mount Hua. Right. Chongmyung looked at Baekchun. Sasuk! In sect leader's eyes, Sasuk isn't the future of Mount Hua. Why are you dragging me into this, you idiot? But what I'm saying is right. My word. Oh my. This sect. The disciples are putting their lives on the line and walking right into deadly battles, but they think the pills are wasted on us. Pills are valued over men. At that moment, someone put their hand on Hyunjung's shoulder. When he turned around, Hyunjung saw Hyunyoung with a weird smile. Just give it up. Isn't that better than dying from frustration? Hyunjung grabbed his head. I will give them to you, you thief. As time passed, Hyunjung's words towards Chongmyung turned harsh.